The problems that you're facing right now aren't really problems, they're merely opportunities, but you don't take action upon them, right? And I'm gonna give you an example of mine, right? I always used to struggle with certain things, right? A lack of confidence, social anxiety, things like that, right? And it made me feel very out of tune with life, right? Because I was in social situations and all of a sudden I started just being very insecure, right? I started entertaining negative thoughts, things like that, right? And I've really seen it as a problem, but then I started researching upon it and I started to realize that it didn't actually have anything to do with the situations that I was in at the moment. I started to find out that it had something to do with trauma that I've never processed, right? And I started learning about that. And through that, my problem basically became an asset, right? Because I started learning about it. Not only made me understand it better, it also made me able to share my lessons with the world, right? And that's really where a lot of people go wrong when they start their creator journey, self-improvement journey, however you want to call it, right? They overcomplicate things, but what it's really about is no matter what do you see your dream life to be as, right? It will always be around you solving something, right? And the only things you can really solve are the things that you've experienced yourself, right? So the problems that you're experiencing right now can be blessings, but you need to turn them into blessings, right? And the best way to do that is through writing, right? And I'm gonna give you another example of mine, right? I started writing about my own trauma. At that time, I wasn't even really aware of what I was doing, right? Because I was just journaling about my trauma. I was just exploring my trauma. Okay, why do I feel this way? Why am I thinking like this? Etc. Right? And that made me understand myself better, right? And once you understand yourself better, you can distribute your perspective, right? Because that's what people are really attracted to. They want to feel connected to you, right? And that's how you will become important, right? Because markets are becoming saturated, right? AI is kind of taking over, but only for the people that don't have a perspective, right? And solving your own problems and understanding them through your own way, right, will really make you stand out, right? Because nobody will be the same as you, right? We might share the same interests, but if you're able to convey your own perspective, you will always be different, right? For example, I can have, for my skill that I possess is like web development, right? So I can talk about web development, right? But a lot of people are doing that, right? But I watch different podcasts from those people. So my perspective is automatically different because I intake different information. But where it goes wrong is that a lot of people don't know how to convey their perspective onto people. And the only way to do that is through writing, right? Because you all deep down inside, you know that you're not the same as everybody, right? And that's actually a good thing. Everybody kind of has that feeling of being that they're special, but you're not special in a way that you're better than people. You're special in a way that you have your own perspective, but only if you create that perspective. And the only way to do that is through writing, right? Once you start writing about your own perspective and how you understand it, right? Because like I've already said, thoughts are intangible, right? You can think about something, but deep down you don't really know how you understand it until you start writing it down. And create a clear story out of it, right? And that will make you create your own perspective, right? And the thing with perspectives is like you will change them through time, right? And that's why I say you need to create the MVP. And in my way, that's a minimal viable perspective. You don't need to know everything what you're doing right now. You just need to gain the clarity that gives you a feeling like, okay, I have something to talk about, right? And everybody got something to talk about, but they don't know what. And that's simply because they've never sat down and took the time to write down their process of thoughts, feelings, interests, and how it influences their life, right? So start with writing, right? And no matter what you're writing about, you are, because I never realized it. I always thought I was doing something lame, because like nobody really want to talk about trauma because sometimes it's scary and things like that. But what I've realized is that it's only made me understand myself better, which allowed me to excel way faster in life. So start writing, no matter about what, right? Understand yourself better, create your perspective, and start distributing your perspective online, right? And no matter where you do that, just start sharing your perspective, and that will also understand yourself even better, right? Because what you need to do now is you need to share your perspective in a way that people are able to really understand it, right? And so you need to tweak with your perspective and really think about, okay, how does A influence B? How does B influence C? And that will only make you understand yourself better. And that's why, like, it all starts with that, right? It all starts with writing and understanding yourself better, which allows other people to understand you so that they can feel connected with you. And once people have a feeling that they connect with you, that's basically your audience, and that's what it's all about, right? You want to have people that feel connected to you in order for them to want to learn something from you, right? And give them a safe feeling of, okay, I connect with him. He is really able to solve my problems. And that's really like what the self-improvement journey is really about. And the creator journey is solving problems, right? But people first need to feel connected with you, right? So yeah, that's what I would recommend for you, right? Start writing for yourself, journal about whatever it is, your past, the things you're feeling right now, and start to understand yourself better, create that perspective, and distribute it online, no matter what social platform, but just distribute it and build that connection and build the skills necessary to solve people's problems once you've built the connection with them, right? So that's my message. Stay improving, stay creating. I'm out.